Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Weekly Coder. I'm Chris, and today we are going to do an episode on Game Over. So we're going to get into the code that we need to write to actually officially trigger the game over of the game. So, excuse me. Um, the video should be pretty short because there's not a whole lot of code that we've got to write. And sorry, I'm losing my voice here. I'm gonna have to drink some beer. Yeah. Okay. So, um, first things first. I'm gonna post this episode today on Saturday, because I'm going to Comic-Con in Phoenix on Sunday. So that'll be fun. I heard they have banned a whole lot of props, which kind of sucks, but I'm not going to dress up anyways. I'm just going to go there and see what everybody else is up to. So it's going to be a fun day. So, with that out of the way, let me go ahead and get right to the code, because I know that's what you guys are waiting for. So, what we're going to do first is, let's see, we're going to go into the game board script. So in the scripts folder, we're going to open up the game board script and have a look at that. And scrolling down through the game board script, we'll see we've got our start death, process death after, process death animation, process restart. Okay, so what happens is we play, Pac-Man dies, a life gets taken away, and then the game restarts, and then Pac-Man dies, a life gets taken away, the game restarts, Pac-Man dies, life gets taken away, and so on it goes and goes and goes. But what we really should be doing is after Pac-Man dies 3 times, we should be triggering a game over, and we should not allow Pac-Man to restart on that level. Rather, we should make him go back to the main menu and start the game over. So, there's one thing we've got to change here. That is, we are subtracting lives in the final restart method. So we start here with process restart with a delay. Actually, process death animation starts the restart process. And but we need to be in this method, the process restart method. That's where we're going to check to see how many lives he has, and if he's down to 0, then we're going to do a game over. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this Pac-Man lives minus equals 1. I'm going to cut it, so I'm going to just Command X, or you can also right click and cut. Okay, so I'm just going to highlight and then Command X, and then I'm going to go into process restart, and at the beginning of that method I am going to paste Pac-Man lives minus equals 1. So that's going to remove one of his lives before we get way down here. And the reason that we do that is because we want to trigger game over before we start showing the player ready and all of that again, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to say if Pac-Man lives equals 0, meaning that Pac-Man is now down to 0 lives, he should not be able to continue the game. Then we're going to do the game over. Otherwise, we're going to do all of this stuff. All right, so we're going to enclose that in the else statement. All right, so we've got all of this stuff that can still happen if Pac-Man lives does not equal 0. So if Pac-Man lives equals 0, what we're going to want to do is we are going to want to, we're going to still want to enable both of these. So we're going to copy those, put them up here. We are going to want to set his sprite renderer enabled property to be false because we don't want him to show up on the screen. And we're also going to stop the background audio. Alright, otherwise we're going to just continuously hear his death animation on a loop, and we don't want that. So we're making sure Pac-Man stays disappeared. We're making sure that the audio stops. All right, and before we do anything else, we need to actually change this text. So the player text is going to stay because it's still going to say player. But instead of ready, we're going to want to say game over. So what we need to do is we need to, before we enable it, we're going to say ready text dot transform dot get component text dot text, and we're going to set that equal to game over. All right. So we've changed the ready text to be game over, and now we also want to change the color because we don't want to use yellow. We want to use red. So we're going to do ready text dot transform dot get component text dot color, and we can just do color dot red. If you want to do a different color, because this is just going to be a red, so like 1, 0, 0. So red is turned on and blue and green are both turned off. So this is going to be the brightest shade of red that you're going to see. What you want to do if you want to do a different color, if you want to specify RGB values, you can do new color and then do an open parentheses, and then the overloads are RGB or RGBA, and that's pretty much it. So you've got either color, RGB, or RGBA. So if you wanted to do RGB values, you have to remember that the RGB values are floats. They're not 0 to 255, they're 0 to 1. An easy way to do that, like let's say if you've got your RGB values and you know they're going to be like 230, 230, and 230, you would just do 230F divided by 255F, comma 230F divided by 255F, and 230F divided by 255F, and then close that parentheses, and that'll give you your RGB values, okay? We're not going to do that because I don't know what 230 equals. So I'm just going to do color.red, which is just a system-defined color in Unity already. So that's it, right? So we've got the text changed to game over, and we change the color to red. Then we enable it. So then we're showing player, and then we're showing game over, and we are hiding Pac-Man, and we're stopping the audio. And then the last thing we've got to do is we've got to actually cut back to our game menu scene. So to do that, we are going to have to add the namespace to our game board class. So we're going to scroll all the way to the top, right here where all the other using statements are, and we're going to add using Unity Engine .scene management. Okay. So now we've got the namespace. Now we can scroll back down to our method, and that is right here. Okay. We need to create an IEnumerator, so we're going to scroll a little bit more. Right here, we're going to do IEnumerator because there's a number of seconds that pass before, so we're going to see player game over. And that's going to sit there for about 2 seconds before it cuts back to the game menu. So IEnumerator, process, game over, and then we're going to pass in a delay. And then we're going to do yield, return, new, wait for seconds, delay. And then after the delay is passed, we're just going to go ahead and change our scene. So we're going to do scene manager, .load scene, game menu. Oops. Game menu. The scene name has to be in quotes because it's a string. Alright. So then we're going to go back into our process restart method, and at the end of it, in the if statement, we're going to do start coroutine, process game over, and we're going to pass in 2 for the number of seconds that we want to wait, and that's it. So we're going to save that. And there's one more thing we've got to do, is let's go into Unity, and let's go to the scene, and the ready text, the actual width of it isn't wide enough to fit game over. So if we were to start writing game over in here, all we would see is game. So let's change that width to 280 So now if we write game over, it fits, all right? So that should be all we have to do. So let's cross our fingers and press the play button and see what happens. Alright, so I'm going to purposefully go ahead and commit suicide here. Alright, so now we've lost 1 life. We're about to lose our second. And now we're going to lose our 3rd life. And it should say player game over here. And there we go. And then it should kick us back to the game menu scene. And there we are. Now if we restart the game, we're good to go. And the reason that we didn't have to change the colors back or the word back to ready is because when we load the scene loads as it is, as it was, you know? It's going to load exactly the way it was, or the way that it is right now, because that's our default scene. So we don't have to go back and reset any variables or anything like that. It's all good to go. All right? So that is it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was rather short, but like I said, I've got a lot of things to do today. I'm preparing for Comic-Con tomorrow, so I'm going to leave the video here. I'd like to give a shout out to Mark, who has been so kind as to support me on Patreon. He's pledged, which is awesome. Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate it. It's going to buy beer, which is good. So to the rest of you, thank you for watching. I enjoy having all of you as part of my channel. We're growing. Every day I get new subscribers, which is awesome. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Comments go down below. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys next week.